Firearms Policy Coalition is about to be filthy rich. And you know what? I'm completely okay with it. And what we're talking about here today is that we have some movement in that mock V Garland case that we talked about earlier in the week and yesterday, and that we will probably talk about weekly for the next month. But that said, what has happened is FPC asked for clarification. Initially, the judge said, hey, I'll give you clarification on who the plaintiffs actually are in this case, because he issued a preliminary injunction on behalf of the plaintiffs at the Fifth Circuit case. And the FPC is like, hey, you know, all we really want to know is simply who the plaintiffs are. We don't need you to go through a big analysis to figure out who that is. Can you just let us know who the plaintiffs are? And the judge is like, you know what? That's entirely reasonable. So the judge says, and I quote, "This clarification is granted essentially for the reason concisely set forth in the May 25th, 2023 plaintiffs' appellant's reply to their opposed motion for clarification of injunction pending appeal. There the appellants acknowledged that although a nationwide injunction would have functionally addressed the question of scope on which the plaintiffs now seek clarity, plaintiffs understand that one was not given. Instead, plaintiffs merely request clarification on whether their reading of the term plaintiffs to include the customers and members whose interests plaintiffs' Maxim Defense and Firearms Policy Coalition have represented since day one of the litigation is correct." That reading is correct. So what that means is that if you are an FPC member, and if you aren't a member of FPC, then you are just wrong. I mean, Exhibit A. If you are an FPC member, then you are good for now until this case works its way through the courts. So do with that information what you will. Thank you all for joining us here today for this quick update on the fight for our rights in the courts. There are some fantastic organizations that are out there doing the battle on the front lines. I am a proud FPC member, and I guess that sort of paid off, didn't it? That aside, they are one of the organizations that I strongly suggest that you contribute to. They are clearly doing good work out there consistently. It seems like there is always a FPC lawsuit whenever somebody tries to do something. It's like they literally go out, and I get their emails all the time. We're looking for plaintiffs in this area because we want standing in this court to be able to do this to this government that's infringing on its people's rights, which I think is fantastic. Thank you all for joining us. And if you found this video interesting and informative, then please help me out, because YouTube is not going to help us whatsoever. They do not want this message out, and you guys have been crushing it lately getting this video around. It's very, very simple. There's just a couple buttons down below. Push some of those and the magic happens.